What's going on, everybody? Nice to see you all on this Thursday, December 22nd. We are just a few days away from Christmas, or as my parents like to call it, Kronksmas. We did not celebrate Christmas growing up. But you know what my favorite part about Christmas is, besides the whole, getting together with my wife's family and lighting the tree and all that stuff. My favorite part is when you go back to like the shopping areas and they're not playing Christmas music anymore. Yeah, that's my favorite part of Christmas. But hello to everybody in the chat. Hello, Mac and Wilder and Captain C Note and To the House and Ryan. And who else we got here? Airplane Mode and Poker Pro Eric. And yeah, I think we got everyone in the chat right now. To the House as well. Did I say that? I don't know. But nice to see you all. And thank you for all being together. You're probably having a pretty slow work week and you're just getting ready to hang out, eat a lot of food, maybe open some presents. Hopefully some of the Only Tans in the chat were lucky enough to get some of the presents from Santa, from Top Shot, the Santa account. I know that I sent a lot of moments to that account, hoping to get back Roham's collection. And there's Budavane as well. So yeah, we have Jay in the back room. And also, if you guys don't know, right now, the locker room packs are live. So hopefully you've done a little bit of trading in with all that flotsam and jetsam $1 and $2 moments, and you want to go rip some packs. The nice thing that this time is the packs are slightly better. Last time you had a 1% chance at an S1 moment. This time you have a 1% chance at an S1 moment, but you also have a 0.5% chance at a rare and a 0.5% chance of something else that's somewhat decent. I can't recall, but those are live. So if you want to go get in that queue, I joined that queue and there was about just over 1,000 people in that queue. So won't take them that long to get a pack. Won't take you that long. So we do have several things we can talk about though today. The FOMO, of course, watching everyone else rip open or receive wonderful moments, of course, and other things too. So you guys can fill up that chat. Let me know what you want to talk about. I know that my guest Jay definitely has some things he'd like to talk about. And so let's do it. But right before that, I see that someone just mentioned Sam Bankman-Fried. Yeah, Poker Pro Eric is telling us $250 million bond. And this beautiful face is no longer being held against his will. He's now a free man until I guess he gets prosecuted again. I don't really know. But yeah, craziness shows you how shisty it is out there. But anyhow, let's bring in Jay. Let's see, which video are we going to give him? Let's give him good old Joe Exotic.
I am never going to financially recover from this. What's up, Tandy?
What is going on, Jay? Thank you for being here. How are you doing? Are you looking forward to Christmas?
I'm good. As you know, I'm Jewish, as are you. But my wife is Christian, as is yours.
Mhm.
So, we do a little celebrating of both. When I was growing up, what we called Christmas in my house was Chinese food takeout day.
Mm, mm, mm.
As we Jews do, we frequently had Chinese food. I think every Christmas for a while there. And then when I got older, I discovered this thing called Thai food. I don't know if you're familiar with Thai food, but my God, is it better than Chinese food? You couldn't pay me to eat that shit again. Thai food is
Yeah,
where it's at, man.
I do enjoy Thai food, and I actually went to Thailand, and I would eat that like a green mango salad with a
Mm,
spicy. Oh man,
it's
incredible.
delicious. It's delicious. But yeah, I think it's always nice to have holidays. I hate them to an extent, but I also love them because it's an opportunity to reset and you know figure out what you want to do next.
In some ways, it's almost kind of like what sports are for men, where it's like a yearly event
Yeah,
that you know is coming, and you can
yeah.
kind of like set your mind to it, your internal clock. It's kind of nice that way. That's what's nice
Yeah.
about having like those kind of traditions, I'd say.
Yeah,
Uh,
traditions are nice. Traditions are nice.
yeah, Budavane agrees. Thai food rocks.
Yeah.
Traditions are nice, but as I alluded to earlier, the only part about traditions that I can't stand on Christmas in Christmas, and here in this country where I am in Portugal, people still go to shopping malls. I know that Jeff Bezos has basically killed the shopping mall in the United States.
I think the death of the shopping mall has been a little bit exaggerated. Come
I,
holiday time, those places are packed all across the
all
country.
right, so yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
But my best purchase of all time were basically Bluetooth earbuds that I make sure I have in my pocket whenever I go to the mall, so I
Mm,
don't have to hear Mariah Carey sing that song,
mm.
"All I Want for Christmas," because I'd rather ram my head through a glass window than probably hear that song again. I don't know how you feel
Understood.
about that song.
Okay, let me give you a different hypothetical. Would you
Sure.
rather listen to the Mariah Carey Christmas song, or would you rather listen to the NBA Top Shot pack opening music?
Man, that is a tough one.
Mm,
That is a tough one.
see what
That
I'm
is like
saying?
I
Not
really don't
easy.
know. That is a very difficult question.
Not
I mean,
easy.
if I'm opening a pack, I don't mind listening to that droning music. But
Is that
if
right?
it's walk, I think so. I mean, if you
Okay.
have like a really great pack,
No.
then maybe you would stomach listening to that music. Whereas if I had to
Yeah.
now listen to Mariah Carey sing
Yeah.
"All I Want for Christmas Is You" while I rip open a pack, I think I'd be exponentially more upset.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's worth trying. Anything's worth trying at this point.
All right. Well, maybe
Yeah.
we should try it. And
Yeah.
Coca Pro saying Mariah Carey makes $6 million per year every Christmas that comes around. Yeah,
Nobody is
it's incredible.
doubting Mariah Carey's ability to make money. By the way, man, when I was a kid, I loved Mariah Carey. Like I was in love with her. Did you not have
She's a
that same love
beautiful
affair?
woman. I mean, she's still
Beautiful.
a beautiful woman.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Mariah Carey's no joke.
Yeah.
Um, are you lining up for these locker room packs?
Yeah. I think I traded in about 100 $1 moments over the last several days. So I guess that entitles me to rip 25 locker packs. So that is the plan. I mean,
All
I've
right.
been ripping locker packs the whole time. I mean, I don't like that Top Shot is essentially a gambling platform, a scratch off lottery ticket platform, but it is. And I don't really go to casinos anymore. I used to go fairly frequently, so I think for the most part, I've just pivoted my focus and accepted the fact that Top Shot is where I gamble and lose, as I used to in the casinos. I very rarely. I think the only time I ever won big at the casino, true story. I think it was maybe 6-ish years ago in Atlantic City. No, I think it was Vegas. Yeah, we were in Vegas. And I was gambling, losing blackjack as usual, losing poker as usual. And I'm walking around the casino with my wife late at night, and I spot what looks like dollar bills on the floor of the casino. And I'm like looking around, making sure nobody else sees what I see. And I walk over, I put my foot on top of it, as you do, and looked around again, nobody there. Reached down without even looking, picked it up, and I was like, "Oh wow, there's like a decent number of dollar bills here." Just kind of put it in my pocket, and then I'm like, I got to get out of here. Like, just in case, like, somebody's looking for this. And I go up to my wife and I'm like, hey, we got to go. She's not understanding. Like, we just have to go. I don't feel well. We just have to go back to our hotel. We were in a different casino from where we were staying. Anyway, long story short, we kind of escaped, me very fast, her not knowing anything was up. We got to the hotel. I go right to my bathroom in our hotel room, open up my pocket. There's like $3,600 in hundreds in my pocket. I'm like, oh shit! Like, is this drug money? Is this, whatever? And yeah, that's I think the only time I ever actually won big at a casino, and it was basically by picking up money off the floor.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Did you gamble at all when you went to the summer league?
When I went to the summer league, oh, did I gamble at all? I Yeah, we did. We gambled a little bit, but I was pretty busy. I actually had a lot of work that I was doing out there in addition to the Top Shot stuff, so I didn't have that much opportunity to gamble. But yeah, we gambled a tiny bit.
Yeah, my story about going to Vegas actually was one of the first times I went. So I used to play poker like everyone else on Top Shot. You have to play. You have to either be a poker player or a top golf aficionado.
That's right.
And so I used to play online poker. I wasn't really that special, just kind of like what's it called? Kind of like a tight player, they would say. You have loose players, tight players, and just kind of wait for the nuts and play your hand. And I kind of went
on
on
nuts.
This is poker terminology. Don't get too
okay.
excited.
So you were tight and you were waiting for the nuts.
I knew you were saying.
I don't like it actually. No, I don't like any bit of it. But continue.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, so basically my theory was I would go to the casino later at night when all the drunks would leave the bar, or the drunks were sitting there all night and just playing. And I would just play versus the drunks. And then I'd go to sleep at like 11 in the morning, but I would have been up the whole night just playing poker against drunk people. And I think I made like a couple grand or something like that. Okay. But that was a fun time. So anyway, how many of you exactly nit? Matt knows. I was playing like a nit. How many of you in the chat? Let me know what your queue number was. I know that when I joined, it was like 1,064. Do you know where you were?
It's going fast. Yeah, I was like 1,100 ish. I joined maybe a few minutes after 4, and it's now like 257. So it's going pretty fast.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you think that
the Flow blockchain, man, is the best blockchain around. Goes real fast.
Flow blockchain, yeah. What can you say? I mean, the price of the token might be headed to who knows how low, but the blockchain itself seems to be fast.
It works. It makes me wonder, like, so many of the things that Top Shot does, why are they not doing it on chain? Like, I know we'll get into things like the Secret Santa program and stuff. Like when a randomizer is used and collectors are chosen supposedly at random to receive certain things, why is that not being done transparently on the blockchain? Isn't that an amazing use case for the most scalable blockchain on the planet? It's strange. Anyway.
Well, I mean, we can talk about that if you want to.
I'm curious.
My thoughts on that is that it's not 100% random. That's why it's kind of like no. I think it's. I also think that maybe there might be reasons that you don't want it to be 100% random, because really what you would want most is you'd want to reward people who are active.
But that's not how it goes.
Think how many dormant accounts there are.
Yeah,
and things like that. You don't want to be gifting.
And just don't put them in the randomizer, if that's the rule. Yeah. But I think you have to, no matter what, you want to set the criteria up front. You want to be 100% transparent on what are the criteria. If you don't want to reward dormant accounts, that's fine. Just announce that. But if I'm remembering correctly, when they did the All-Star passes, those things that $30,000 passes that give you access to All-Star weekend festivities for, what is it, 10 years, I think? I can't remember the exact timeline. I think the dude that won had one moment in his Top Shot account, right? Like, he wasn't an active user at all, and there was a whole conspiracy around, is he a relative or a friend of somebody who works at the company? We've had plenty of amazing pack pulls, legendary moments from people who weren't real active as collectors. So I don't think they're going out of their way to reward quote unquote real collectors or to punish non-collectors or dormant accounts. So if that's not the case, if those aren't the criteria, then why wouldn't they want 100% transparency when it comes to rewarding $1,000 prizes to people that presumably they say is completely random? It's very, very, very weird to me. It's almost like the randomizer, the Q randomizer, the pack randomizer, they haven't had any third parties audit that stuff either and share those reports with with the community. And I know for almost 2 years now, there's been this desperate cry for transparency. And they have the power of the most scalable blockchain on the planet. They've had more wallets and accounts than any other blockchain. They've processed more transactions. It's impenetrable from what we've been told. It's just a head scratcher that they're not tapping into the full potential of the blockchain to appease any of those concerns about what's random and what's not random, and what's up to chance and what's not. I don't know. It's just weird.
I think that a lot of people probably would feel pretty good to be able to see inside the randomizer or just have, because what they actually used to do is when they'd have packs, I don't know if you recall this, but on the Discord, they'd have pack drops. And I think this was after like when the randomizer did have its issues. And then they would show you like, here's how the breakdown worked. Like, here's the people that got rares, where they were in the queue, how long they gave you a lot of that kind of data after the fact. So I wonder if any of this would it be possible to see that kind of stuff after the fact? Because they might have their own security reasons that they can't show you everything.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's some kind of compromise that could be made.
Yeah. Who knows? But it's pretty cool, right? I mean, it's pretty cool to open up the timeline and see all these good people that we've gotten to know and love in the community wake up to these incredible gifts from Santa Sean. I think he's doing a really great job of going through people's wish lists. I'm assuming it's a manual process. I don't know if you can automate that, or maybe they have. But I think it's really nice. Like, Knicks fans getting legendary Knicks moments, the first legendaries that they've had. People who are wanting to get into the Nine Lives Lounge getting gifted the LaMelo. It's pretty cool. Like, I've seen Steph Series 1. I've seen like Tatum debuts. And I think there's a lot more to come. So yeah, it's very cool to see collectors be rewarded in such a generous fashion. I hope nobody out there is like, demanding that there's some kind of accountability to see how certain people are being chosen and how others aren't being chosen, and we can all just appreciate it for the generous, amazing gift it is.
Well, that's fair. That sounds like two different coming at it from two different angles there. You want to see the blockchain, you want to see the back end, but you also want it to be.
I always want to see the back end.
Come on, you want it to be but you also appreciate that it could be sort of hand selected, etc. But I will say that the one that I can't imagine. Well, I guess you can never say never, but the 1-for-1, the Santa trade-in, like that should be completely random. Because those are literally active people sending in moments.
100%.
And there's like 55,000 of them that are going to be gone back and forth. So that's crazy. One would be like a nice opportunity to do kind of what you've asked for.
I guarantee there are some people who literally sent 1,000 moments into the Santa account, and they're just going to play the numbers, and odds are, I guess, something good will come. I didn't quite understand what they were doing at first. I thought it was like gift one thing and you get one thing back. And I asked for clarity a few different times, and I finally got it. So yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I guess the questionable part is it can't be fully 1-to-1, right? Because some people who gift in their own moments, inevitably it's not going to be another collector's moment that gets sent back to them. It's going to be something that the Top Shot staff procures and puts into the pot. So there's more going in than coming out. So again, the question then becomes like, how is it determined what is going out and what is kind of staying in maybe a locker room setting or being burned? Like, is that a manual process? So all these things are intended to be good, right? Like, they're doing all these things to give back to the community, to show love, to reward people, surprise and delight, which I'm a super fan of. But every time you kind of open up one of these cans of worms, I think inquiring minds want to know, like, where does the manual process stop and the automated process begin? So yeah, it's interesting. And like, I think recently with the NFL All Day Immaculate Reception drop, like somebody who pulled an ultimate in, the last big drop, they pulled another ultimate again. And then there's questions about how do these randomizers work? Like, do the randomizers look for patterns, or are they purely objective. So yeah, it's just it fucks with your mind a little bit. Like the more you kind of dig in and try to understand, the more I think questions go unanswered. But I think we accept it for what it is, and some people are going to come out of this with some really dope prizes, and you gotta love that. Am I here or am I gone? I don't know if I'm here or if Tandy's here or if my shit sent me out. Somebody in the comments, tell me if I'm here. Do you hear me? Okay, good. So I don't know where Tandy went. It's real sad. I don't know if I said something offensive to him or if they lost power in Portugal. But in the meantime, somebody in the chat, what do you guys want to talk about? Ask a question. What are you excited about? What are you concerned about? Hit me with your best shot and let me see what I got. I don't do impersonations. What you see is what you get with me, Buddha. I am what I am. Are we burning enough in S4? I don't know if it matters. I think that the whole promise of net neutral, I was always kind of dubious and curious why they were even going down that path. Tandy, don't worry, I got this. So yeah, I don't think the burning of worthless commons is important. So yeah, I don't get it. I'm going to be in Miami, Ryan. So if you're in Miami, I'd love to meet you there. How does Ballers make a comeback? Oh man, that's another story for another day. What I will tell you is I love that community. I love what that brand could have been. I saw today actually for the first time that Hoodlums is extracting itself from Sturdy Exchange, which I think is probably good. I love the guys at Sturdy, but I think the business that they're looking to build is different than the mandate of having to own a brand and build it day in and day out. I think the same is true probably for the guys at NFT Genius. They want to be a marketplace company. Whether you think Gaia is a quality marketplace or not, that's another conversation for another day. But I think they should probably divest themselves of the Ballers brand at this point, and get it into the hands of people who are qualified to build brands and passionate about building brands, willing to put in the resources, hire the right people, not focus on using it as an opportunity, to perhaps raise money to build other business ventures. Because, I think building a brand is really hard. It takes full-time commitment, full-time focus. It takes people who have the capability to actually do what needs to be done. And I think, 2 years in, that brand has been declining since the day it launched, which is sad. But it is what it is. Yeah. Okay. Tandy, are you gone or did you leave again?
My internet's really crapping out. I might have to actually go unplug and replug. So let's see how long I can last here on this internet.
That's all good.
But okay, so am I coming in all right? You're hearing
me?
Yeah,
you're good, man. You're good.
All right, cool. All right, well, let's keep talking here. We have we can actually look at the John Boy Beats thing if you want to look at that.
Oh,
although I did want to start with more I wanted to start with more positivity.
Yeah,
because I don't think this thread is very positive. But I think we are kind of positive, right? I feel like I'm on a lag. This internet's no good.
Just keep going, Tandy. Just keep going. It won't be as bad as the last stream we did together, no matter what happens.
Well, that's true. All right, let's see. The tab is right here. Okay, so here we go. This is John Boy Beats. Every week he puts out some numbers on how we're looking net neutral wise, just supply wise, etc. And I think this must be a little bit of sarcasm, but he says an absolute masterclass put on by NBA Top Shot this week, plus 350,000 net moments in circulation, $1.5 million in pack revenue, only 18,000 moments burned, and 8,000 sent to the locker room. And meanwhile, 60% of rares are minus net less than $50 now, and 355 moments sit idle at $1 floor. But the buyers and secondary marketplace are constant, so fire away. So red is bad. All this stuff is a little too data centric for me. I'm more of a visual and kind of, I don't know. I like to hear things more in like stories, but
Yeah.
this is a lot of red across the board. He got into it with Disruptor over here, this guy.
Disruptor, is that
And
Shark or is that a different guy?
yeah, I think he has 2 accounts.
Okay. I think
Yeah,
the guy has
captain
8
of the
accounts.
pirate ship.
Okay.
8 accounts.
Yeah.
He's a top 0.1 percenter though, so there you
Everybody
go.
is.
What?
I love when I still see that in people's fucking bios. The first time I saw that I was 0.1, I was like, holy shit, this is cool. Like I didn't even realize I was that big of a collector. And then it turned out everybody is in the top 0.1% because I guess back in the day, right? Like Dingling and Andrew and those guys, like they all had like 100 accounts or whatever. And then 99 of them eventually went dormant when they stopped multi-accounting, and they just kind of brought all their stuff from all their, and like Whale Vault, like all those early adopters had like 1,000 accounts or whatever. So like in theory, there's like millions of fucking accounts. In practice, everybody knows there's like 4,000, 5,000 actual users. So like everybody's in the 0.1%. I think it's time, December 22nd, 2022, to take it out of our bios. Let's do that.
Yeah,
that can be our New Year's resolution as a community.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
So Rare Sal is asking me if it's true. It's true. Whatever you're asking, it's true.
PPE said 90% of accounts have been inactive for a year. Yeah, clearly, I think it's way more than 90%. But I think for the most part, it's lots of early adopters had a ton of accounts. That's how they accumulated so much stuff. And B, everybody who came during the crypto rush who was making money on this thing, they've all kind of pieced out, but they obviously still have accounts. A lot of them still have stuff in their accounts. I've met executives like literally over the last week from a variety of companies like, oh yeah, I had a Top Shot account. I have stuff in my, and they haven't looked at it in like a year and a half. So that's just how it goes. I haven't looked at my Candy account in like a year, but I have plenty of stuff in there. That's just the nature of the beast.
Yeah, my Topps Wooden Coins on Wax.
There you
I think
go.
I bought some other things on Wax too. I haven't looked at that at all as either. But I think the long and short of it here is just basically so far the net neutral type of promise or wording that we were hearing before Series 4 is not happening thus far. And we're all kind of wondering what that means, or if because we know they're applying the locked moments toward net neutral, which I don't know how you feel about that one. I don't love it because those are going to get unlocked one day. And I also don't know if the burning of the unreleased stuff counts towards net neutral. I would also hope that is not the case. But we haven't had a whole lot of conversation around that as of late. It seems like as of late, as Ben also alluded to the last week, it's basically like, look, you're going to get a lot of packs. You're going to get a lot of moments on the marketplace. And this supply thing isn't going to be fixed anytime soon. And I think that when you take a look at the marketplace, when you take a look at how many moments are sitting at like $1, $2, mostly $1, honestly. A lot of moments can be had for $1 right now. It almost feels like when they told us a year and a half ago that commons are meant to be common, collect what you love. This is like what they meant. They meant to like collect because you just liked it, and there was no financial incentive, and it was just collecting because you wanted to fill your sticker book up with the stickers that meant the most to you.
Yeah, and yet they still maintained that that they were going to tweet whenever there was a big sale.
I know they played both sides.
They played both sides. Yeah, really well. Here's the deal, and I've kind of become a broken record on this, and I think I'm in the minority. Like this is one of the core areas that I'm not as angry at Dapper. I don't think supply is the problem. I don't think supply has ever been the problem. I think demand is the problem. I think there's such a small number of people, A, who are aware of what Top Shot is, B, who understand what Top Shot actually is trying to do, and C, genuinely give a fat fuck about digital collectibles. It's still a very small universe of people. I think the real problem is that Top Shot hasn't found a way to become part of the culture, that the Top Shot brand is not cool, and there's a variety of reasons for that it hasn't become part of the basketball nomenclature, that when people see highlights in games, they don't think of it as something that should be encapsulated in a Top Shot moment. Like that moment hasn't happened, no pun intended. It hasn't struck a chord culturally. I also don't think The people who have been in the ecosystem are out there advocating for it. I think so many people feel burned, and that's one of the things that us, we're not early adopters, but those of us who joined in February, a lot of us, were screaming for the longest time. You need to cater to the current people who are on the platform. You need to cater to the base. You need them to trust you. You need them to love you. You need them to evangelize for you. Don't go out there and try to do all this customer acquisition at the expense of your current customers. Make your current customers the biggest brand ambassadors you could ever imagine. And they went the opposite way for so long and so hard. And they were out there on social media, putting down their customers, arguing with their customers, telling their customers that they were making bad trading decisions and they should cry into a pillow, and that everything bad that was happening was either their fault or the macro, and they wouldn't take responsibility. And when you ignore or alienate or actually fight with your base, you can never expect them to be out there evangelizing for you. And yeah, I think bottom line, there's no fucking demand. So, if there was 10x demand, or if there was 100x demand, or if there was 1,000x demand commensurate with the universe of people who fucking love basketball, then the supply wouldn't matter for shit. Yeah, commons would still be $1 or $2 or $5, but the shit at the top that everybody should presumably care about, people would be killing each other to get their hands on that stuff. The demand is the problem. The supply is not the problem. I don't give a shit about net neutral. I don't care about propping up dollar moments. There's just not enough demand. And the demand that is here, it's people who are trying to extract, trying to make a buck, trying to recover their massive losses, trying to win the game, trying to strike it rich in the lottery, the scratch off ticket. It's just fucking not working. And I know we're trying to be positive, but yeah, I'm still talking, Ben. Go fuck yourself. Go ahead, Tandy.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, it's like there was this. They alluded to a big marketing spend in Series 4. I truly hope that's going to happen. I don't know if the fact that they had to lay off a bunch of people and that kind of thing, and obviously the demand, like you're saying, is not what it was. I don't know if that's going to affect this, or if they already had that sort of sitting on millions of dollars to use for marketing, and they're going to do it either way, and they're just waiting for the app to come out. That's definitely, at this point, that's hopeful thinking, wishful thinking. But that is our best bet, I think, to try to get that demand.
But no, you're wrong. I'm sorry, you're wrong. The brand isn't worthy of onboarding the masses to. Like, you can't put the cart before the horse. Nobody even knows what Top Shot is right now. If Top Shot were to come out, no, that's what product is for. Clarify the product, clarify the game, clarify the user experience. How do you want people to experience this product? Why do people want these moments? What do the moments mean? Is there an underlying game that the moments are used for? Get some clarity around what that game is. Get some predictability so that people understand what it is. Is it intended to be another form of memorabilia? Like, does provenance matter? Does it matter when you got something, or how you got something, or who you got it from? Like, all of the things that the blockchain presumably allow for, none of it is being used in the core product experience. Is it supposed to transport you to a moment in time, that is near and dear to your heart as a basketball fan? There's no game audio. There's no context in the moments themselves. You can watch them. You have no idea when it happened, why this moment was important. Like, it's all missing. So, cart before the horse. Like, yeah, it would be great if we had 1 million users, but like, what is the core product experience? It's still just this kind of daily Frankenstein flash challenge game. Like, that's the product experience outside of buying packs and playing the lotto. So they haven't built up their product to the point where people can proudly show off their collection, where people can trade easily with friends in a frictionless way. Like, there's so much left to be desired within the product itself. If it truly is supposed to be this generational kind of collector ecosystem, I just don't think the product is ready to onboard the masses. I don't think it's cool enough for the masses to want to come in, and you only get one shot, as the old adage says. So yeah, I'd be really wary of spending $50 million to onboard people to a product that isn't ready for prime time yet. Again, as we've been saying for a long time, I would have used that money or at some charity to build up the current base and make people feel like, am I gone?
I don't know if that's me or if that's
Are you gone? Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
I don't know. This
Somebody
show's having some serious.
in the chat, tell me if you hear me.
Hold on, let's do a little technical difficulties. Here we go.
Kenny looks like he's about to take a shit. Or maybe he's mid shit. Can anybody hear me? Somebody say something.
All right. I don't know if it's now if
One
it's
of us
Jay's
is frozen.
connection or my connection. Okay, so hopefully we're good now. You look all blocky. I don't know if that's me or you. All right, Jay. I think Jay lost his connection, so we'll give Jay a breather. But you know, Jay makes a good point though, which is that if the product is confusing, if the game is confusing, if the supply isn't really the right for various reasons, and people go and they're a first time user and they see 100 different LeBron James and 100 different Giannis's, and they can't quite understand why they should buy one or the other, then that is true. But then the question is, well, how are we going to get there? How long is it going to take us to get there? Like, are we going to be talking about this for another year, 2 years until that's all really nice and ironed out? That's definitely a concern of mine. And that's why, even if they don't dump all 50 million, if they are going to spend 50 million, then perhaps it's a smaller portion of that. And I do think that they're making baby steps, or not even, but they're making steps in that they are sponsoring certain podcasts, which is nice to see. No Dunks, we saw that. So I know they're doing No Dunks. I think they're doing another one. They're going to add more to that. So it's like step by step. But Jay is right when he says, I'll give him some credit that he is right that there are parts of the product that need to be fixed also. So Jay on his awful connection is back. But you know what? I'm going to take 1 second to just shill just for a second. Let's get a little shilling music. Oh, look at that music. That's different. Yeah. All right. So what time is it? Shill time. I want to shill BetUS to you again. This is BetUS, and they are very kind to continually be a supporter of the show. And if you go to bit.ly/Tandy50, this music might be a little loud. Again, bit.ly/Tandy50, you'll get 50 free bucks to bet at BetUS. So maybe you want to bet on the NBA games that are going to happen over at Christmas. Maybe you want to try to flip this 50 into 500. Who knows? You probably do have to flip it over a few times before you can take it out. But point is, free $50, no deposit needed. bit.ly/Tandy50 will get you $50 free, and you will be supporting the stream, and I will love you forever. I will love you long time if you go to bit.ly/Tandy50. Okay, so that is the shill read. And I did see, by the way, that a couple of you even deposited. So that is very, very helpful. And we'll keep this as an offer that stays and doesn't go away. That's what we want. All right, so there's your shill read for BetUS. And Jay is back, so let's bring Jay. All right, Jay. Today is just the technical difficulty show. That's okay. It just happens.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Sorry, folks. I know you guys spend a lot of your free time with us here, and you value what we have to say. So, on behalf of Tandy and myself, we're very apologetic that our internet service isn't cooperating today.
So Rare Sal asks, what's the reason for wanting anything Top Shot related? Please explain to me. Well, So Rare Sal, the same reason that you'd want to collect on So Rare. You know, you believe in the platform, and you see the vision. I mean, how are you feeling, Jay? Because like I was referring to earlier about how the marketplace is in a really, really rough spot, and especially, I think Alexa was talking about this in the beginning, where he really didn't want lower circulation mints, and he may have been onto something, because I and others were saying only mint to customer demand. And actually, that might still have been the case, because what happened was we minted to now 16K commons, which is still above customer demand, because customers are buying 15, 30, 45 packs at a time. And And at the same time, it's making the older stuff not valuable because it's like, oh, Series 2 15K, that's 15K circulation. Now it's 16K circulation. It's basically the same thing.
That's
and there's
part
just
of it.
so much of it, right?
I think the bigger issue is, and it's been this way for a long time, most people who come into the platform are not even looking at Top Shot Moments as collectibles. They're not buying for the long term. They're not buying to hold it because they think that they're going to appreciate it in value, like you do trading cards or autographed memorabilia or game worn jerseys or any of these other kind of proven collectibles that have attracted a certain audience. People who, for the most part, the majority of people I think who buy on Top Shot and have bought on Top Shot over the last, let's say, year and a half, they're buying to predict against what the market maker is going to do next, right? It's very speculative. People buy for challenges. They buy because they think something may pump in one of these flash challenges. They buy because they're predicting that because Dapper did something 3 months ago that they're going to do the same thing next time. It's a game, right? And I think we have to be honest with ourselves that it's a game by design, right? Like these are the guys that brought us Crypto Kitties, right? And like that was a game. Like they're game makers. I don't know if they're very good game makers, but they make games. I don't know if they ever created this thing to be a genuine collectibles platform, right? When we joined, the pitch was it's the stock market of the NBA. Before that and after that for a short time, the pitch was we're building this hardcore thing and you're buying these tokens to play the game. So I think, you know, there's dissension among probably the team over there, as well as among the collector base about, is this really a collectibles platform? And if so, what does that mean? Or is this kind of a gimmicky game platform? And you're really only buying tokens, not because you care about them or want to keep them or see them appreciating in value over the long term, perhaps, but rather because they're tokens in a game that somebody else may pay you more for in 20 minutes or tomorrow or in 2 days when the next gimmicky game is announced that you think you have the inside track on what it's going to be. So, you know, it's like anything else. It's hard to be all things to all people. I think they've tried to do that for far too long, and they're continuing to do it. And again, I think things like that are more the problem rather than there's too much stuff. Because, you know, there's too much stuff in a lot of markets, but inevitably the cream rises to the top, and people who appreciate that market for what it is, they're going to want to get their hands on the scarcest, most special, most meaningful stuff. That doesn't really happen in Top Shot right now because I would say 98% of the current user base and the user base to date, many of whom have left, have just seen it as a gimmicky game, a flipping kind of game where they can get something and then pawn it off on the next schmuck for more money because they think they know how the game is going to be played. That's what it is. Let's just fucking be honest with ourselves and stop running around in circles and blaming net neutral and all this other bullshit and the fact that there's too many, you know, unscarce common moments. That's not the problem. It's really not.
Well, it looks like Ben's in the back room. He looks like, I think he's parked. He's in his car, but I think he's parked. I hope he's parked, or else people are going to get upset. But let's say hi to Ben. Let's see how he's doing. Let me change the background here. There's Ben.
What's up? What's up, fuckers?
What's up?
Hey, Ben. How are you doing?
I'm driving, dude. Am I upsetting people?
You did very much upset
talking and
someone
driving
last
at the same time?
Yeah. Do you think that people in this space would be upset easily?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody has to go to therapy just thinking about it.
Man, I don't know about you guys, but I'm pissed at Top Shot. I'm pissed at Dapper. What about you guys?
What are you pissed off about? Ben, you're supposed to start happy. Remember?
I know, but fuck that shit. No, fuck that shit. I'm pissed. They fucking rugged us. They continue to rug us. And
Ben,
then
are you driving
people...
drunk?
That's the bigger concern. That's the bigger
concern. You seem a little loosey goosey right now.
No, I'm just coming. I'm just not hiding anymore. Right now, I'm pissed.
Bringing the fire.
Right, what are you pissed about?
We just keep getting fucking rugged, man. We keep getting fucking rugged. How many times are we going to take it up the fucking ass before we do something about it? It's ridiculous. I mean, honestly, it's enough. Huh?
Is this something new that's happened that you're
net neutral supply, and then they released 100,000 packs? I mean, come on. We keep getting fucked. And then we keep lining up, and then we keep getting dumb fucks in the community being like, oh, well, actually, I really think blah, 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 blah. I mean, be fucking real with yourself, man. If you like the product because you think it's cool and you like to open packs, that's great. But be fucking real with yourself. They are fucking you financially.
I
think
here's where
again,
I differ.
Yeah, go ahead, Jake. Give
Go
the
ahead.
positive spin. Can we give a little
Okay.
simp video before you go?
How'd you guys? Was that good for you guys?
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Really good.
I think people are a little shocked right now, but Jay's about to simp, so let's set him up.
Let's sim.
Let's sim.
Let's sim.
Let's sim. Let's sim. Let's sim.
And then don't get me started on the fucking random holiday gifts. Oh yeah, we're just gonna pick these people. Why do they get grails? Because they were nice to you? Like, what about the people that have spent $100,000 on this platform? Where's their gifts? But maybe because they didn't lick your ball sack, they didn't get anything. That's horseshit. That's not a way to run a business. For fuck's sake, go ahead, Jay. Go ahead. Sorry, Simp.
Honestly, I totally forgot what I was gonna say. But here's what I'm thinking. I'm not angry. That might be a surprise to you. I think
Shock.
at a certain point, I mean, I'm angry, like in life.
Okay. Just not right now.
I'm not angry because at a certain point, like, people are who you thought they were, right? Like, you have to accept reality for what it is. I think oftentimes in our society, we find ourselves not believing the thing that we see every fucking minute of every day. And because we think that something could or should be different, that it's suddenly going to become the way we want it to be, even though reality is staring us right in the face. So I say that because I don't think you can be mad at somebody for being who they are. If you have a dog and every time you put your finger near its mouth, it bites you, and you're like, stop fucking biting me, it's going to keep biting you because that's just what that dog does, unless you go through therapy and training and you know, you help that dog behave in a different way.
Jay, don't you know the scorpion and the frog? Don't you know that tale of the scorpion and the frog?
Do they fuck each other?
Maybe in your version. You don't know that story?
That's the one where the frog licks the scorpion's ball sack, right?
That's Ben's version. That's Ben's version.
But you know what, Jay? One thing I would interject is you're right. Ultimately, it's on us because we keep falling for it. But here's my point. They're preying on us. They're preying on us because we love basketball, right? At one point, we love their product. So they keep sending out the fishing lines and they keep luring us back in with promises, right?
Buyer beware, brother. Buyer beware.
Buyer beware. You're right.
You know, we live in this fucking woke society where we all blame everybody else for our problems. At some point, you've got to man up and take personal responsibility.
I can't do that. I want to blame others.
Ben can't
all
do
of us do. I think it's human nature. I honestly do. It's really, really, really
it's
hard.
Dapper's fault, bro.
Yeah, and you know, the other thing is you're not wrong. I mean, preying on desperate people has been en vogue, you know, time immemorial, right? From the beginning of time, there have been businesses, people, shady characters that prey on the desperate, whether it's cigarette companies or alcohol companies or gambling, or, you know, luxury good products. You know that you know, there's this whole thing in culture, keeping up with the Joneses. You put that bag in Rihanna's hands, you know, everybody wants to be like Rihanna. They're going to spend money they don't have to buy that bag.
And you know me, Jay, from knowing me personally, I'm a very desperate person. So it's just not a good combination.
I think we all have a little bit of desperation within us. Not all. Some people, you know, are good. Like they have like self-confidence and self-esteem. But most of us, we're just fucking pathetic schmucks.
Yeah. Sign me up.
I've been
so Tandy, what is your take on all this? This fire that we're bringing and these criticisms we're levying. Is it Dapper's fault? Is it my fault for being a dumbass? Like, what is it?
I think everyone has some responsibility. Actually, I don't think it's all on any one person. I think the thing that most people have been and continue to be most upset about is probably just like the supply, that boring story of supply. At this point, though, it's kind of like what you said last week when we talked. Is you kind of know what you got yourself into at this point. And at this point, they release the pack. They tell you what the percentage chance you have of getting what you want to get. You have like the locker room packs, you have a 1% chance at an S1. You have a 0.5% chance.
You assume that the randomizer is truly random.
Sure, you have to assume that. If you don't assume that, then yes, you absolutely should not be buying any packs if you don't think it's random. But that's it. Like they give you your information. If you still want to go and gamble and try to get the Paolo Bonchero, then that's on you. Like that's on you.
But is
You can't
is that how they're representing themselves? Is my question. They're not representing themselves that way.
Well, how are they representing themselves?
Oh, look what just
Nobody
sold for
does.
20. Huh?
Oh,
What'd
you're
you say,
not
Nobody
play-
who's preying on the weak. Nobody who's preying on the weak represents themselves as preying on the weak. That's part of the game, you know.
Be straight
Well,
up, bro. You be
yeah.
straight up about who you are.
Yeah.
It's
don't
just
know if
like
I'd
the
go
pretty.
that
It's
far.
like the pretty girl with the tight snatch, but she's like a demon bitch. You know what I mean?
Ben, you're gonna upset a lot of people in my comments,
I
but
don't think I'm following on this one.
yeah, I don't.
You want
I
me to
don't think
explain it
I'm
to you?
following.
You want me to explain it to you,
no,
Jay?
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
I would like that.
I don't think I
I'm
can.
gonna boo you off the stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, hold on. I'll give you this.
What?
I
Bro,
don't
what are
think
you
you can
talking
say
about,
snatch on
man?
the Tandy show though. That's the problem.
Yeah. Anyhow, Ben, I don't know, man. I really think at this point, at this late in the game, where you've been here for a long time, as we all have, if you still don't get like what goes on when these packs get dropped and what happens, and the way you were talking about it last week, I got to say, you were like, guys, this is how it is. Like there's going to be a ton of supply. That's how they make their money. There's going to be supply. And now if you want to buy, buy. If you want to sell, et cetera, et cetera. Like don't expect that they're going to stop releasing tons of supply. However, I will agree with you and something I said weeks ago, which is like you have to be a good custodian of your user base, because eventually your user base eventually, although it's taken a long time because of all the goodwill that they've somehow built from way back when, but eventually your user base will tap out and they'll be like, oh, we don't like this anymore. And as an operating a business, if I was on that side, maybe I'd be thinking about that a little bit more. Does that cover it? Is that a fair?
Yeah.
assumption?
Sentiment low, but sales are good. So, it's hard for them to really realize it. Anyway, yeah, you're right. So I was saying, I've been saying things, but rational things last week. But oftentimes, like anybody, I get kind of off kilter and emotional, irrational, angry, jealous, envious when I see other people. Yeah, other people getting fucking moments based on. No, congratulations. It's for the people I like this guy in the chat here, Top Shot, Hot Shot. He's a cool guy. Now, congratulations to him, right? I'm proud of him. But when I see the simps that have net spend of $5,000 or whatever the fuck it is, getting the grail moments just because they kissed ass, that pisses me off. You know what I mean? Kissing ass. I mean, you should have principles. It should be your company should be based on principles. Is it typically it's spend? Now, obviously, if you spend a lot, but you're an asshole like Mets, like that's like the extreme. You know what I mean? But if you
It's
are,
so weird. It's so rare.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
So rare. But if you spend a good amount and you're just critical, but you've said some good things, you're like crossed off their list because you're not a total like fucking tank smasher. You know what I mean?
By
the way,
hold on. By the way, we have Steve Ballers Blockchain Steve who's telling us
Steve,
it was random and not random.
Steve,
well, see, that's what I've been waiting for.
I believe it, and I know Steve, and Steve's an honest dude.
By the way, hold on. I gotta firstly correct Ben. That the Top Shot Hot Shot tweet was actually a satire. It wasn't a real. It wasn't a real tweet. That he said that he got like a LeBron Cosmic. And
it was no. I didn't know it was a joke. I had no idea.
Wait, so is that why you're so upset, Ben?
No. It wasn't just him. It's that general. But hold on a second. If it is random, okay, and I'm completely wrong, I'll take the fucking L on that. I will absolutely. Right. But I've been asking, is it random? I've gotten no response. If it is random, I will take the L on it. Okay.
It's right there.
Okay,
yeah.
Here's the question. Shut up for a second. Here's the question. If it's random, if any of these things are random, why aren't you showing us that it's random? Like there must be some ways to show the community, a community
Good point,
who
Jay.
has absolutely positively, for a variety of fucking reasons, lost faith and confidence that what they're being told is true for a variety of reasons. And we all know, Steve, why that has happened over time. If you know that this community, there's a trust deficit, why can't you guys figure out a way to just assuage those concerns and show people this is how we're going about making these random selections. Because even if it is truly random, and I believe it is, you guys would be crazy to not do it in a random way. Like, that's fraud, and it makes no sense to go that route. But if it truly is random, and you know that there's such a trust deficit with this community based on everything that people have been through, and the lies and the innuendo and the misleading stuff and so on and so forth, why haven't you guys figured out a way to actually show people from jump that this shit is random? It would go so far to restore confidence, and people are desperate to have confidence in this thing. They want to trust the thing that they're passionate about. So to Steve, I say, I believe you. Lots of other people don't believe you. Ben is talking about snatches and all kinds of weird shit. There must be a way to show people that this shit is random. Maybe use the fucking blockchain that Flo built, that Dapper built, to start showing people that this shit is on the up and up.
See, this is why me and Jay get along so well, and this is why I like being Jay's friend, because I'm the fucking loose cannon rocket I just fucking throw up, and Jay has like the homing missile. He just got a scalpel, just fucking knows what to say. You're absolutely right. Why not show it? I believe Steve. I'm not gonna Steve seems like a great guy. I don't know him, but he seems great. Yeah, but I don't disbelieve him. But you make a great point. It's been years people have been asking to see this randomizer. Can you just show it?
Show it. Show the pack randomizer. Show the Q randomizer. Show how randomly people are being selected to go hang out with Magic Johnson. Like, so much of what happens in this Dapper Sports ecosystem is based on quote unquote luck and chance. But nobody has ever seen behind the curtain to have any fucking confidence whatsoever. The account that pulled the 2 ultimate moments, there's so much controversy around that. They shut the guy's account down. Why? Why is that account shut down? What is happening behind the scenes? What happened with UFC? How were those people able to, to con their way in and read cadence or whatever it was that they were able to? Like, so much of what is happening in this ecosystem where fucking hundreds of millions of dollars are at stake, and not once has any of this been shown to be true. Not once has any of this been audited by a reputable third party. That's fucked up, man. Like, that is fucked the fuck up.
All right, so I think we have tapped out on our swear jar, but this is what Steve said earlier. He said, we're talking about thousands and thousands of unique gifters. So I think he's now talking about the Santa thing that hasn't happened yet, Steve. Correct me if I'm wrong. But he's asking, I'm not sure what tool it would be for a front-facing randomizer / recorder.
So what I was talking about, to be clear, what I was talking about is not the Secret Santa that 20,000 people donated to. I'm talking about what's been going on lately. That's on December 23rd. What I'm talking about, what's going on lately, is people are randomly posting saying, "Oh, I got my Grail moment from my wish list." Yeah. That's kind of what I'm talking about. Is that random? That's what I wanted to know. Because that's
everything's random. That's what they're going to tell us, and we
allegedly.
Yes, allegedly.
Yeah.
Until
that's what I'm questioning. That's what I'm questioning, and it's speculation. I don't think it's unfounded speculation based on some things.
Well, it's not unfair to ask the question.
Correct.
Because you're spending money. Anytime people are spending money on something and everything is rooted in luck, people just want to know it's 100% based on luck, and that there's nothing that can possibly happen behind the scenes that can make it about anything other than luck. That at no point anywhere is anybody intentionally picking winners, or that a randomizer can learn behavior and pick winners accordingly. That's all we've been asking for almost 2 years now. We've never gotten a glimpse of it. So it's concerning because, again, like we started the show, we want to be nothing but positive about this Secret Santa shit. It's a beautiful thing. Reward your collectors. Surprise and delight. Allow people to wake up to having something amazing in their account. Like, that's all good, and it should be all good. But because this company has lost our trust and confidence for a variety of reasons, it would just be nice if we didn't have to ask for it, that they would voluntarily show us how things are on the up and up. That's what I would like.
Yeah. So one thing, and Steve did answer a couple of these things, but one thing also just to add to this narrative. First of all, so we said earlier on, like, oh, the guy that's a big Knicks fan got a Knick moment, whatever. Okay, that's because that was his wish list moment. The guy who wants the Magic Johnson gets the Magic Johnson, and he happens to be a Lakers fan, and yada yada yada. Right?
That's how. That's how it was set up. That's how they told us it was going to be.
And it's worth saying that I saw at least one, I don't know how many others, I saw at least one guy who I know has been very vocal and critical in the last few weeks. Also, he got like a LeBron Top Shot debut or something.
Son of a bitch.
And there was at least one, if not, and I think there were several people who got moments and literally just undercut them immediately. So it's not like, I think the narrative to say, oh, it's just these people that are like kissing ass and they're the ones getting it. I actually don't think that's true when you look at that kind of data. And also, Steve says, of course it's random because that's the only fair way to do it. However, I agree that I would love to be able to both hear that, which we all want to believe that everything is perfectly random, and it wouldn't hurt to then have like the after the fact thing, like we saw from the drops when there were queue issues of randomness, and then said, hey, look how randomized the rares were. They happened here, 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 and here. And, and then it could be the same thing. It said,
here's how many people, clear patterns that showed it wasn't random. And here's the bottom line. I think it's random. Like I genuinely think it's random, but I hate the fact that so many people in this community want proof because they've been burned before. If you know that you have a trust deficit as a company, typically you go out of your way to prove things beyond the shadow of a doubt so people can slowly but surely regain trust in you. If they haven't done that, it's just a huge miss. It's like so many other things that they've done, unforced errors. This to me is an unforced error. I don't want to swear at you, man. I got nothing but love for you.
But Steve is basically saying, instead of speculating before stream, if we want to talk to him before stream, then he can answer some questions for us.
Well,
we appreciate that. That's very nice.
Here's an idea. Here's
now I feel like an asshole, Steve. Can you at least be kind of a dick so I'll feel more justified?
Steve could not be any bit of a dick. He's a good dude. You guys should have a collector council. You guys need to be talking to the community because we all talk about this shit amongst ourselves all the time on social media, in private chats and DMs, Twitter, whatever. Steve's funny.
All right, there you go.
But you don't play dumb. Like
thank you, sir.
You guys know that there are people in this community who are desperate to have an open line of communication with the company, have been begging for it, asking for it, volunteering their time. I go in the VIP chat, I don't know, a couple times a week now. All those guys do is beg to be heard, beg to share their ideas, beg to share their thoughts and their views. The issues with the randomizer, man, we've been asking that for almost 2 years now. There have been so many examples of things that truly were not random. That's why people have lost faith in the quote unquote randomizer. So at some point, you guys are just going to have to figure out how to be more transparent, how to be more proactive, anticipate the concerns that the community is going to have based on concerns that they've had in the past, and just get ahead of things. Comms has never been, Top Shot's strong suit. I think in a lot of ways they've done good by stopping talking to us, right? Like Top Shot doesn't talk to us anymore. You got Sean out there. He's doing a great job, but all the other kind of disconnected comms have ended. And I think that's a good move. But yeah, things like the randomizer issue, like those questions have never been answered, and people are desperate for confidence in the shit that they're spending their hard-earned money on, man. Like that's not a crazy
But Jay, I think it's important to, when they talk about collector council, it's important to think about like which collectors are we going to choose, and what you have to do is you have to find collectors that are able to critically analyze your products. So that doesn't mean that they're a hater, and it doesn't mean that they're a lover. They're just able to look at your product and critically analyze it from a user perspective. But if you say collector council and like, okay, collector council, and then they get all the simps, then this doesn't make any sense. So
of course.
the thought process has to be there as well. You know what I mean? And so I recommended at one point to somebody very high up, or allegedly I thought was very high up in the Dapper ecosystem, to do exactly as you said, but to pick just a couple of people in different parts of the community that have different set of skills.
No doubt.
One person that's really tied into the person that likes this aspect of the community, and one person who's more critical, and one person who's more positive, and get them all together and then run ideas by them. That's more in the spirit of Web3. Now, it's their company and their millions, and they don't have to do this. This is just a recommendation. It's almost like a focus group.
How did she respond to that?
This person wrote it down and said this was a great idea, and I gave this person a lot of ideas during this session, and he or she only wrote down this one. So I mean, either this person is a fantastic.
To get Ben. He's so in his own mind. It's so easy to get him.
Well, I only think about myself, Jay.
Right.
I did send you a gift though for Hanukkah. Yeah, Top Shot gift.
Oh, the thing that you sent to all three of us?
Well, it wasn't just you guys. Hey, Tandy, how did you like your Fred Van Fleet 60K. What did I send you?
You sent me a Kyle Lowry, I think it was 16K. I loved it. I think I sold it at the floor for $1.
You
That's
sold
the
my
spirit.
gift?
He did not
How could
sell
you?
it. Ben, he didn't sell it. Nobody's buying it.
I sold you. Did I not send you one back? I'm going to send you one back.
You don't have to send me one back. I just picked. Look, I'm such a dick most of the time. I'm actually a nice guy. I'm great. I feel really good about myself. I'm really happy. I don't have internal issues or self-esteem or insecurity problems. But besides that, I just felt like, why don't I give? It was more of the thought that counts. I picked about 15 people that I kind of liked. I just looked through my Twitter DMs, so hopefully I didn't miss anybody. And I just sent out about 15 gifts of floor moments, and I tried to figure out what their team was. Right, so you guys were
Toronto Raptors.
You guys were my guinea pigs. You were my guinea pigs. You were my first two. But after I branched outside of you guys, I sent about 15 or 20 gifts to random people that I've interacted with. Yeah,
that's really sweet.
That's very nice, Ben.
Yeah, well, it helps with the guilt.
Yeah,
that's good. Yeah.
All right, let's change topics. I don't want to kind of belabor these.
Yeah, why don't we?
That's your thing. What do you mean you don't want to? That's like your thing.
But I'm self-aware enough to want to extract myself from. I feel like I'm stuck in this same topic that I've been ranting about for goddamn near 2 years now. I don't know.
You know it would be scary if we took a montage of what Jay talks about for week to week and then just layer it over each other. Have you ever seen that thing where they show all the newscasters saying the exact same thing over and over? It's like 60 of them. And it's gonna be Jay on 15 different streams being like, the game is broken and blah blah.
I'm tired of it, man. I'm tired of being a broken record. I'm tired of it.
Now, what else is there to talk about in Top Shot that's going on? There's the locker packs. Have you guys talked about that?
Yeah, I actually have a couple of them. You want to open them? Should we do it?
Sure. Do you think that's a rug too?
No, I don't think that's a rug.
What do you mean a rug?
Because after everyone blew their load on $25 packs, now they basically offer you the same thing but for trade tickets. I guess all the dog shit you accumulated in those packs, you can now turn them into trade tickets and get locker packs.
Well, yeah, that's the idea. It's
and then turn 4 into 3 and 4 into 3 and 4 into 3, and then bit by bit, they disappear from circulation. It's rinse and repeat. They're going to keep doing this. Again, we know this is the format.
Well, listen, everyone likes a little sweat, so let's sweat. Oh, it's new music. Are you hearing this?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Great.
I like to do some stuff to this music.
I make love to this music, Jay.
Yeah.
Well, Jay, you were asking for new music. Here you go.
I was. This is nice.
Maybe we should just listen to this music the whole time instead.
It's way more soothing than us.
This is a nice palate cleanser after our bullshit.
Yeah, I'm feeling way calmer right now.
All right, let's see if I can get some S1. Oh, I got a rare on my first.
Look at this.
Rigged.
All right.
It's rigged.
Influencer pack.
Holy shit.
They knew you were on stream.
All right.
You gotta hand it to Sean. He's a master.
Cut it off here. Oh,
Good job, Tandy.
All right.
So, Tandy, what's that worth, buddy?
Probably
25, $30.
Nice.
All right, so now these aren't going to be anything.
Whoa. What do you mean? No. You got to watch the play. Have you seen the play they hand-selected? Where are you going?
Shout out.
Watch the play.
I want an S1 or another rare, Ben.
Dude, a Raptors moment. They know your favorite team.
He's a Celtics fan.
All right, well, this is already a huge win, I'd have to say.
This is a win.
1 pack, 1 rare. Oh, it's back. All right, let's see if we can get another rare.
What are you going to do for an encore, Tandy?
No, that's definitely not a rare.
I feel an S1 Tatum coming soon.
That's definitely not a rare. That's not a rare. All right.
You can send Ben his Van Vliet back now.
That's true, Ben. That Van Fleet's.
Mine was a low cereal, sir. Those are valuable.
Here we go. This one's going to have an S1 in it. Nope. Karl Anthony Towns.
I just don't understand why you're not watching the play. These are hand picks. They tell the story of basketball throughout the NBA season. Why aren't you reading? Wait, you're not reading the bio, the tagline, and you're not watching the plays. Can you please explain to me why you're not doing that?
Sure, we can read it and watch it over and over
yeah.
if you'd like, Ben. This is Jordan
wow, that's
Nwora.
a sick block, bro.
And to protect your turf against the super
Why are you guys laughing?
You better get vertical. Oh, I couldn't do it, Ben. It closed on me.
Wait, why are you guys laughing?
I'm not laughing. I'm serious.
This is what you're supposed to do. You rip the
All right.
pack. It tells the story of the NBA. They put a lot of work into those little bios,
I'm
and
gonna
it's supposed to tell the story of this season. Yeah,
Sure.
I want to know this. This will tell us the story of this season of the NBA.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, people want to watch the plays, so we'll watch the plays and we'll tell the story of the NBA.
All right.
Thank
we
you.
go.
That's all I'm asking.
All right.
That's a very fair
request.
request.
I'm
Yes.
just too excited to see if I got rares or S1s.
That's all he cares about. It's the monetary aspect. He doesn't care about
You-
the story.
Yeah. All right. Here
They're
we go.
bad.
Fred VanVleet.
Okay.
This is
what is the
numbered
story?
6724 out of 40,000. Ever get a feeling it's just one of those nights? Fred VanVleet cuts to the basket against the Orlando Magic, spins away from one defender, reclaims possession of a knocked ball, and lays in an easy bucket. The Toronto Raptors guard set a career high with 54 points in the February 2nd, 2021 contest. 54 points. That is actually quite impressive.
Play the video again, Tandy. Play the
you wanna see the
video
video
if you don't
again?
mind. Yeah.
It's actually a cool thumbnail too. Like
Yeah.
if there were less of these things,
Yeah.
and these
Fewer.
things were all more prized possessions.
First of all, that's a travel. Clearly,
is it?
100%
Oh,
travel.
you're right.
Dude, look
that
at
is a
that.
travel.
Just did a fucking Cinderella. That's a
Horrible
travel.
That is a travel.
The thing that I wish though is like the story that Austin has weaved together. It sounds so compelling. Do you get any of that energy that this is a career night for Van Vliet watching that video? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like that to me
but
is
if,
what's
if that was
missing.
if that was a legendary, then I think that would make more sense. That's why I've always said like the legendary moments should literally be legendary moments. Like Fred VanVleet
Right.
scores 54. That's a legendary.
But
moment.
without reading the caption, which let's face it, it's 2022. People are too busy to read. And you just want this to be your special digital collectible. The context of the moment is missing. I wish I could hear, an announcer calling the game in the background saying, and his career high 54th point, Fred VanVleet, and like hype
Sure.
it up and crowd reaction. And maybe after he scores that bucket, there's like, the video pulls back and then it shows you Fred VanVleet as a newborn and the first time he touched a basketball, and it traces his journey to an NBA player and career night, 54 points. Like the magic of that moment to me is missing. It's just a layup off of a travel. And that to me goes back to what I think is one of the most important points about, the lack of traction with this platform is I don't think the moments do justice to what they're trying to accomplish. And therefore, I don't think the broader basketball fan base sees these as the iconic moments that we may think they are. That's a challenge.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Babies and
Ben.
moments.
Jay's right. We need to know more about these babies and when they
Babies
first
and
touch
moments.
basketballs.
Can
But
we
no, I
start
get
a
what you're
hashtag,
saying.
babies in moments?
Babies and moments.
We
I
need
get what you're
babies and
saying, though, Jay.
moments. Wait,
Yeah.
what should that come before the app or after?
Babies should be immediately. That should go to the top of the
Simultaneous.
list.
Okay.
We can walk and chew gum at the same time.
All right, let's see. Here we go. Here's another rare.
All right.
No. All right, Ben, here's just for you. This is Derek Jones Jr. on December 6, 2021.
I saw Derek
Leave
Jones
Derek
Jr. last
Jones
night.
Jr. with an open path to the rim at your peril. In a matchup with the Denver Nuggets on December 6, 2021, the Chicago Bulls forward is left unmarked in the corner as Zach LaVine slices his way to the paint. Jones Jr. drives baseline, grabs a quick pass from his teammate, and gets up for a two-handed flush at 2 of his 12 points on the night.
Okay, pop quiz, boys. What's his nickname?
Flushmaster.
Anybody in the comments?
I don't think I know Derek Jones Jr. nickname. No.
I think it's airplane mode, isn't it?
Is it?
Is it?
I don't know.
Think so.
I've,
What does
I've
that
actually
mean?
never
Turns
heard
off
that.
his Wi-Fi?
Wow, that's a terrible joke.
I might be wrong. I might be wrong about that.
Let's just go with it. I was at the Hawks Bulls game last night. I saw Derek. I was right behind the bench. He was wearing his street clothes, but he's a good teammate. He was dapping up his teammates every time they came out of the game. I'm a fan of his.
Did you sit in the Top Shot seats?
They were not Top Shot seats. No.
Okay.
No.
So you
I'm still no comment.
Okay.
But yes,
Okay.
it was a fun experience.
gotcha. So so there was no other collectors. You didn't take somebody from the community or anything like that.
I took my wife.
Okay.
And we had some friends there as well, and we had a
Got
nice
it.
time with them. Yeah.
Cool.
All right,
Third
let's see.
moment.
We got one more. Ben, you still want me to read these for you?
Yes, absolutely. I'm a true collector.
All right. This is numbered at a 9,999. It's Ben's favorite player, Kristaps Porzingis. At 7'3" with a 37-inch vertical and the speed to match, there isn't much that Kristaps Porzingis can't do on a basketball court. Here, the Dallas Mavericks star puts on a show, getting from the baseline to the rim in one dribble and raising up for a one-handed flush in traffic. We got a lot of flush language, huh? Porzingis poured in 19 points in just 23 minutes in a 104-96 win over the Memphis Grizzlies on December 8th, 2021. Do you like that, Ben?
I mean, that was fantastic. I'm getting actually a little bit emotional, actually. So, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. All right, here we go. Here's our last pack of the
Jeez,
day.
how many of these things you fucking have, bro?
I got 5. I got the max.
I don't know if I can take much more of these fucking read-throughs.
Listen,
All right, I'll stop
you
reading.
started off nice. It's
I'll
all
stop.
good.
All right, here's your boy Max Strus.
You got to do Maximum Strus.
Let's do it.
He's
Oh,
part of the
wait,
tribe. Is he part of the tribe?
What? Should we just see if
I
the
don't
word
think
flush
so.
is in here? Slam dunks don't come much more emphatic than this. Flush. Miami Heat utility Max Flush Strus shows he's more than just a sharp flusher with a jam that even his Chicago Bulls opponent, Zach LaVine, would have been proud of. Strus breezes past his defender with a swift sidestep before. Oh, there's a streaming word in there. We got steaming. Sorry, not streaming. Steaming towards the rim and dropping an absolute flush. Strus had 9 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 flushes in the 118-92 win over the Bulls on December 11th, 2021.
Fantastic.
All right, let's go.
Whew.
Big no whammies, no whammies. There's Justin Holiday. It's a steal, it's a fast break, and it's a dunk. It's a flush. Do we have flush in there? No. It's transition slam. And a Charlotte Hornets Ish Smith.
Let me ask you a question, Tandy.
I remember the days when Ish Smith was the cheapest $100 S1 that you could buy.
So when you go through this
Yes,
process,
go ahead, Jay.
and
Yeah.
we're all kind of mocking these the moments, I suppose, to an extent, and the flowery, beautiful language that Austin has provided to us. For me, when I go through this exercise, and admittedly, I don't often read the moment details. Often, I don't watch the moments. I love basketball. Like, basketball is my favorite thing in the world, I would say. But I'm not, and I don't mean this in a negative and in like a disrespectful way. I'm not a nerd when it comes to these types of collectibles, right? So like, I genuinely don't appreciate the nuance of the description that you just read, or in a lot of cases, even like the plays themselves. There are obviously certain iconic plays from NBA history that that I watch, and like I will feel it in my bones. Like I will remember those moments. But so many moments that happen day to day, like they're not that, and they never will be that. When you go through this type of exercise and force yourself to read the moment descriptions, do you question why you are doing this in the first place? Do you question, like, am I genuinely passionate about digital basketball cards, or did I get involved in this thing for other reasons? Like, does that question kind of resonate with you at all?
Well, lately I've actually been Marie Kondoing my collection, and I've just noticed how many $1, 40K, 60K moments of players that I really don't care about that I have in my collection. And so the majority.
But do you
of the
care
moments,
about like the underlying ethos and the presumptive value of this in the first place, which is we as basketball fans want to collect digital basketball cards and own them? Like,
do I question that?
Yeah, like, do you feel that? Like, do you like owning these? Do you like collecting them, or will it always be a profit motive? Will it always be, I own these because I see them as assets that maybe I'll be able to sell for more than I bought, hopefully sooner than later, or perhaps in the future they will have tremendous value and I will be able to offload them? Like, is there kind of that intrinsic joy and motivation in owning and collecting these things for you?
So this is bringing me back to the Joey Bats conversation, honestly, where people were collecting seashells and stuff like that. And because how many things do you collect purely to collect? And that's it. You just collect them and you don't care at all about what they might be worth, etc. Like, I don't know if I'm actually much of a collector in that regard. So
I think
that there's
people collect things that have personal value to them, right? You go to
Yeah.
concerts, you oftentimes keep those concerts ticket stubs because it's a reminder. You're a wine drinker, you collect and maybe keep corks. Or some people I know, they have an app and they fill out to remember where they were when they drank a certain fancy bottle of wine.
So let me
The
ask you
personal
both then.
connective tissue.
Guys, aren't we
Let me-
overcomplicating this a little bit? We just
No,
want cool
man.
shit. We want cool
But
shit.
what
If it's
makes it cool? That's my question. You literally just forced all three of us to mock the very thing that we've
Me?
been mock
Wow,
the
I
very
was
thing
genuine.
that we've been immersed in for the last
Wait,
2 years.
hold on a second.
because
I
we
was
don't
watching
see it
the
as cool.
plays. Wait, how was watching the plays and reading the description mocking? That's what you're supposed to do. Why is
How
that
often
mocking?
do you do that?
Every moment.
The fuck out of
That-
here.
That's what a real collector does, Jay. What do you
That's
think
I'm
we do?
saying. But that's what
Okay.
I'm saying. I
What are you
don't.
saying?
I think we're lying to ourselves if we're going to try to believe that these are genuine collector's items. I
Oh.
think most people, the vast majority of people, only view these things as tokens that hopefully will appreciate in value.
Yes,
And in
that's
that
obviously
way,
true.
It's
Yes.
completely aligned with how Dapper and Top Shot treats it, because they've created a mechanism by which
And-
these are merely tokens
Yes.
in the game that they've created.
We're totally on the same page, bro.
So
That's what the
let's be
rug I
honest
was
with
talking about.
ourselves.
That's what I was talking about. That's the rug. That's the
But it
great
can't be a
rug.
rug. We both want the same things. They're doing it to their benefit. We want
No,
it to
but
our
they're
benefit.
masquerading as it's something else.
And we're masquerading as something else. We're masquerading as collectors. Ain't nobody a fucking collector in this shit. Let's be honest with ourselves.
What about some of those like cave people on Twitter?
Alex is a collector, right? Like Alex loves collecting it. He probably doesn't care if he ever makes money on it. He'll walk barefoot for the rest of his life. Guys like MBL, I don't think. Listen, I love MBL, and I don't mean this in a negative way. I think he's holding on to stuff because he thinks that it's going to appreciate in value and he wants to sell it. I don't think
Absolutely.
these items are personal enough to us to the point where we actually see that intrinsic value. It's part of the reason that, you know, I've loudly and vocally advocated for things like, if you go to a basketball game, you should have an opportunity to buy something in that moment when it happens, as it happens from the game, so that it has that intrinsic value to you, because that's the types of things that we as humans are motivated by. If there is no personal connection, unless it's truly special, it's a commodity, or at least it becomes commoditized at some point. And
Well,
then we
I think
don't
they're going
really
that
wanna
way,
own
though.
it. There's no value in owning
All
it.
day did that at a Rams game, so I think they're going that way. But boys, I
Think
got to
so.
dip. Fantastic conversation. I got to go.
All right.
See you guys later.
Peace.
Thank you, Ben.
Peace
Take
out. Yeah,
care.
thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm
Uh,
glad that you sobered up. Ben,
yeah,
honestly,
thank God.
I was worried he might be drunk.
Yeah,
Uh,
probably is.
But anyhow, I think the point is any collectible, you have some kind of a horizon. And I think this is what Steve is saying here. We're pretty much all speculators. Some
Yeah.
people just have longer time horizons than others.
But
I
I
think
think
that's
if
true.
the moments were more special, that's the hiccup for me. I think we just proved the point by watching it and reading the description. The context is missing. The feeling of specialness is missing. We all mocked it, not intentionally. Like, nobody's trying to mock it. We love Austin. We love what they do. But the moments themselves, the assets themselves, these collectibles, they don't feel special for the most part. You can't even hear game audio to bring you back to that moment in time and allow you to close your eyes and hear it and see it and remember it. It's all missing. So the product itself doesn't merit being viewed as a genuine collectible because there's really no specialness that's contained within it. And I think that's just my broader point, is like, until they can master the product and create something that somebody can look at once and be like, I want to own that, without even understanding the market implications, without understanding level of scarcity, that the product itself feels so fucking special that you need to own it. There's a reason to want to own it. This will always be a niche product dominated by speculators, and it will never hold intrinsic value, which I think is part and parcel to something ever being considered a genuine collectible. And I think we have to be honest with ourselves that that's where we're at. The product isn't up to snuff. And that's why you don't spend $50 million onboarding the masses, because the masses are going to come, they're going to look at it, and they're going to be like, are you for real? This is the thing that you want me to spend my hard-earned money on? I could watch something better on YouTube. The product itself has to be amazing. I stand by
But
it.
Jay, I guess my counterpoint to you there is, Would you, first of all, depending on what the greater economy is on Top Shot, also very much influences this question. And I think it's, again, you can't detach the financial aspect of these moments. You just can't. I don't care
You
how
can't.
much I tell you that it's like collecting stickers or how much anyone says anything. You just cannot. So, having said that, when you look at like a LeBron Top Shot debut, or you look at a KD run it back that you purchased, right?
Mhm.
Are those special to you? I mean, those are big purchases for you.
Purely financial. I bought them purely because I was hedging and thinking that based on the upward trajectory of the platform, based on how those particular moments have been received by the existing customer base, based on purely financial reasons, I made a bet that they would go up in value.
So do you think then,
Yeah.
like, okay, if you have a longer, so at the same time, and again, collectibles have a financial aspect. Any kind of these kind of collectibles, if we're
But
talking about,
here's the missing
yeah,
piece, Tandy.
yeah,
I would hope that if you go to an antique store and you see, a coin from the 1700s, you're buying it because you think it can go up in value, right? It might be a collector's item, collectible. But you also look at that coin and it's amazing. Like it brings you back to a certain point in time in history. You feel it. It's rough based on the materials that were used. You look at the imprint that somebody by hand perhaps put the imprint of the date on that old coin. I think that a lot of collectibles bring people genuine joy and pleasure in ownership because of how they were constructed or the story behind them. I think what we're collecting in this Top Shot universe, these are mass marketed replicas of something that already existed, a highlight video, where a lot of the context has been extracted from it. So in a lot of ways, it feels less special if you just take it at face value and watch it than watching it on YouTube, because YouTube has the audio, YouTube has the crowd noise, YouTube has the announcer setting the stage, has context, whatever you kind of want to call it. I genuinely think that most collectibles, even if you were coming at it from the outside looking in, you could see something special in it without knowing the market implications, without understanding the economic implications. I don't think that's the case here. Otherwise, we'd have more people here. Period.
well, I mean, there's part of that that's fair, but there's also part of that this is a digital collectible. So this is digital, and there are ways that you can make the digital collectible special in their own right. I think they tried.
What's
I
special?
think that. Well, I mean, first of all,
What
if
feels special?
things were trending up, this conversation would be different.
No, it
first of
wouldn't.
all.
No, it
I think
wouldn't.
it would.
No, it wouldn't. What
Secondly-
feels special about any of the three
Well,
moments that you just watched?
You can call it special. You can call it unique. Okay, you go
Unique
and you
because
collect
it has a serial number.
exactly.
Okay, but then everything has a serial number, right? Anything can be numbered in life. Like I could number my fucking bananas in the kitchen. That doesn't make them special.
But it's on the,
I might
it's on
know
the
where I bought
blockchain.
it. There's a sticker on my banana that says where it was packaged, right? So I can trace that back to the factory that it came from. There's a barcode on every item I buy from Target. That does not make it special. Just because every jar of deodorant at Target has a unique barcode, and I could trace it back perhaps to the factory where it was packaged, that does not make it special. Provenance and uniqueness based on it having a different serial number does not alone make something special. Yes, it makes it unique. We can say that this is a one of a kind piece, but unless the piece itself feels special and makes us feel something, who gives a shit?
That's fair, but I think that it's a little subjective. I mean, I think if you wanted to collect bananas that were, you collect your banana from Costa Rica and you dip it in wax and you save it forever, and you dip your Jamaican banana and then you save it forever. Like it's a little tricky. And I think it also very much depends on the collector. Because look, if the closest thing we can compare this to, I know this is like a tale as old as time, but the closest thing we can compare this to is physical cards. And what makes physical cards so special? It's just the fact that you can hold them in your hand, just the fact that you get them graded. What makes physical cards so special? And I think you could say all the same things you're saying now about physical cards, and yet that is an industry that's been going on for decades. And people are crazy about physical cards.
There's a level of appreciation for having something tangible in your hands and it bringing you back to a moment in time. I don't see the same level of tapping into that sense of where I was, when I was, memories, at least yet that we've seen in digital collectibles.
Well, I would
But
agree.
I've seen
I
plenty
think
of digital
that there's
collectibles
more.
that people collect because of how beautiful they are, the narrative behind how things were designed and constructed. Um, Listen, I will die on this hill. I think that there's a long way to go to make the product stand on its own as something that feels special. I don't think it feels special, and I think that is one of the biggest things that's holding it back from mainstream adoption. I think people will come into the product, they'll open packs, the pack opening experience is kind of fun. They'll open moments, the moment kind of appearing and spinning around in the cube is kind of fun. But once you've seen a few of them, they all kind of sort of feel like they look the same and act the same. There's very little diversity within the product itself. You can't really do anything with it. It just kind of sits there buried in your account. I don't think the product experience is up to par. I think the product has a long way to go. I just feel that way.
I think you're right. The product experience does have a long way to go. I think again, if we could have game audio, if we could be more social, if people like above a certain collector score, whatever, could like comment on things, or who the hell knows? There's a lot of things you could do to make it feel more special to a collector. There are people in the chat saying things though about the physical card market, about some of these cards going for millions of dollars. Like that's not because it takes them back to a moment in time. So a huge part of any collectible, again, it's like the speculative nature, like that's just
They
the bottom
feel
line.
special, man. There's something about physical cards that to a lot of people feel special. And I mean, like a lot of them, like they have like jerseys,
No,
jersey
I love those.
patches, they have autographs, especially like older stuff. Like again, like the feeling of something. I don't know. It's unique. But anyway.
Anyway, I think you could also do a counterpoint with some of these very expensive NFTs and stuff like that. And I think
Yeah, but those are all
the part
speculative. That's all
I know.
financial driven. None of that is based on specialness. That's all based on I think somebody else will spend more on this than I will. For the most
But that's
part.
what I think that's a big part of what physical cards are, and that's a big part of what NBA Top Shot is.
Okay. Well, one has gone mainstream and one hasn't. Why is that?
That's the $1 million question. I do think that there's part of it because they're trying to be a lot of things to a lot of different people, like you said. I think that they added in this utility of like, look, this is way more than physical cards. You can go to basketball games and yada yada, and they've done that, and which is very cool for everyone who's taken advantage of it. And honestly, if I was a new user, and I've said this before too, that's the first thing I would tell anyone joining this platform: go collect your favorite team. Go collect a few of your favorite teams. Now you can probably collect the whole the set for like $15 a team. Just go collect a couple of teams that you live near and go have fun and go talk about the games with other diehards in the Discord and get invited to games and play poker and do all that. And that is really the way to have fun
So
for
it's
the
a
lowest
community
amount of
then.
risk.
But then it's just a community where you're buying an access pass to partake in community activities, right? Like that's very different from what we're talking about. That has nothing to do with collectibles. That has nothing to do with intrinsic value. It has nothing to do with product experience. It's merely buying an entry pass to your local museum, and you get to go to all the fun events that the museum has. That's totally different from what we're saying.
They're doing that, and they also at the same time want they want grail prices to go up, etc.
Yeah.
Mac Attack said a kind of interesting thing here, which is that he doesn't see any of the things that he buys as speculative. He just has fun in buying what I think is cool.
That's
the
awesome.
only thing I would push back on this Mac Attack is that you can buy moments you think are cool currently for $1 or $2, or if you want to buy like a KD Run It Back, whatever that's at now, $4 or $5 grand, I don't even know. But like, are you feeling the same way if you go and drop a few grand, or if you go and drop $1? Because for me, there's a very big gap in the thinking there. So Ryan buys certain things as collectibles I want to own, and others that are a pure gamble, game token utility. My account is like 2080.
Yeah, I think that's the way to do it now. I think a lot of people got burned early on and were 80-20, myself included, right? When I entered the platform, I thought it was commensurate to any other kind of collectibles platform. I didn't understand the layers of gamification that would soon come and kind of dilute the aspect of collectability and put all the focus on just predicting what the next bingo game was going to be, and making sure you had the 5 things for that bingo game. And I think that course of action, those decisions have slowly, and now less slowly, taken everything that could have been, collectible about the platform, and at least for now, pushed all of that out the window. Like, it's not a collectible platform right now. Like right now, it is a gambling / gamification platform, and maybe that's okay. Double down on that perhaps, and become the access pass to basketball fandom, and make it so that different game pieces entitle you to different prizes. That's not the case now, right? And that's a big part of the challenge. To your point, Tandy, it does you a disservice to buy the expensive stuff if what you want is to get the community piece and to go to games for free and play poker with your buddies. You're stupid if you buy the expensive stuff, because all you have to do is buy the super cheap stuff to access the most fun parts of the platform. So now they're catering to that kind of entry level audience at the expense of many people who came in a year and a half ago, spent a lot of money on what they thought were going to be genuine collectibles. And then ever since, almost every decision that has been made has taken away the perceived value of the good stuff, and focused most of the value on the small stuff, unless you're an early adopter and you're top 3 on the leaderboard, in which case you're Alex and you can go meet Magic Johnson and Kate Cunningham and whoever comes next. So overemphasis on the bottom, overemphasis on the very, very, very tippy top. Everybody else in the middle kind of gets burned. And yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now.
I agree. I think that honestly, that does feel like where we're at. It's like small as of right now. You can gamble. The upside isn't huge from the packs. The downside also isn't really huge. Like you lose a few bucks.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. But there was some news that this locker room pack drop has been paused. There was a problem. So apparently somebody received some burnt moments or something, and they had to stop the drop. So that drop is going to happen early next week instead. So just FYI, if you're hoping to get some of these locker room packs, they are now paused. So
another day, more drama.
So hopefully we haven't been too negative on this holiday themed stream. I was hoping that we wouldn't dive too much into negativity, but I feel like the things that you've raised are all true. The product needs work, and it needs to be simplified for both middle and like this large middle class collector, as they like to be called, and it needs to make sense. And it is a very challenging thing to make sense, to have a platform that makes sense for the lowest tier, the highest tier, and everyone in the middle. But it's a challenge that I don't know the answer to. I mean, I would love, though, if we could do some of these councils like you talked about. I think we've been asking for councils for a long time. I think we were asking for councils. The first person to talk about councils was Justin from Own the Moment. That was back in I want to say March of 2021.
Okay.
So
that's
been an idea that, yeah. And actually, I think in the in the Discord of there's content creators Discord that I'm a part of, and sometimes they talk about trying to think up ideas like this, and I think something like that was floated once, but I don't know what the latest is on that. So yeah, I don't know. Anything else you want to talk about, Jay? Anything else that you're feeling a little more positive about, or you're still buying on Top Shot? What's going on with you lately?
Man, I don't know. I'm definitely still active in the challenges, because I like the adrenaline rush of trying to play that game. So that's kind of fun for me, especially since they got away with all the unnecessary burning, trying to use challenges to somehow, some way get to their net neutral promise. I think they finally realized, A, people hated the fact that they had to burn shit that they bought, and B, they're just going to unload so much supply on the community this year that just doing a little bit of burning here and there probably isn't going to get the job done. So I dig the challenges. Obviously, I'm still somewhat active in some of the team communities. Some of the captains are fantastic. I posted the other day, I saw the Timberwolves. They're sending people they're sending collectors to the Target Center to play on the court and then grab a suite afterwards and watch the game against the Grizzlies. Like, that's so dope. Granted, it's not scalable, so like 20 or 30 people get to partake in like the game part at least. But I love the initiative. I love some of the stuff the captains are doing. Some of the captains, all due respect, like this isn't their thing. They don't have the time or the experience or expertise to put into it. And I think some fans of some teams aren't getting the same experience as a result. So obviously it would be great to see some standardized best practices deployed across all 30 team communities so that, collectors who live in all parts of the country could benefit commensurately. But overall, I love the idea of the captain's program and I partake where I can. But yeah, I mean, I blew my load over the last couple of years. I can't really justify much more investment in the platform or the product. There's still so many unanswered questions. Frankly, at this point, I really don't care what route they go. If they want to be a collectibles platform, if they want to be a game, if they want to be a community, if they want to be the future of fandom, if they want to be the stock market of the NBA, if they want to tie these moments as game pieces into some amazing video game, if they want to partner with the 30 NBA teams and do dope shit through them, like, I don't care what route they go. I just want them to go a certain route. I want there to be a centralized, understood experience that people can go to every day, can have confidence that it is what they say it is. I don't want it to be a lottery platform. I just think that does such a disservice to what people ultimately would appreciate the most, and it does a disservice to basketball. It feels so raunchy, just to be kind of a scratch off ticket product. But yeah, I mean, I'm in it. Like, I'm passionate about it. Obviously, I'm going to continue to be passionate about it. Like, they're never going to get rid of me. I've got way too much invested in it, so I'm gonna stick around for the long haul. As always, I hope that I can be a voice of progress within the community, within the user base, but also helping the team wherever I can. I did a lot of that in the past. I'm always open to doing it in the future. I'm open to helping with the captain's program. Again, I think there's a lot of potential there. I just hope it doesn't go wasted. Like a lot of other good ideas that don't get the attention and resources and strategic forethought that they deserve, and they just kind of go by the wayside. I don't want that to happen to that program because I think it has a lot of potential. And yeah, I think just double down on the product, double down on the tech, double down on the user experience, make it feel rewarding and intuitive and predictable in a sense. I think, if you want to go down the path of rewarding collectors, do it and mean it and make it less up to chance and make it more predicated on, actually giving people a worthwhile experience. The more they lean into the product and turn them into the brand ambassadors you want them to be. And yeah, I think it is what it is, and it is what it's going to be for a little while now until the next shoe drops, or until there's a new kind of mission or initiative. I think they're finding their sea legs. Like, they're just trying some stuff. They don't know who they are. They don't know who they want to be. They're still kind of figuring it all out. That's obvious at this point. And I think we just have to be patient and give them the opportunity to do it, but still be vocal and still scream and yell. Yeah, good, Steve. Call me, man. You and I used to talk all the time before you went over to the other side. So let me help them. I'm all about it. We can do some dope stuff together for sure. Yeah, beta, no doubt.
So beta,
Yeah.
I guess we'll give Bleezy his beta drop, but and then I'll end with one thing that you're probably going to be happy about. But let's play that drop.
Beta.
I did not stop talking to you, not intentionally. Not intentionally.
So here's something that definitely will cheer up Jay, which is this. The Celtics look terrible. They look so bad. I don't know what's going on with the Celtics. I think there really is something to be said for just how teams go on streaks. Teams just get really streaky. Last season, the Celtics went on a great streak near the end of the season, and they ended up making it to the finals. And now the Celtics went on this like historically good streak. Everyone's crowning Jason Tatum MVP. Then Robert Williams now comes back. Derek, what's his name again? Can't hit
Derek
a
White.
shot. He's like Derek White can't hit a shot. He's hit 2 shots, I think, in his last 3 or 4 games.
Yeah.
So they are just cold as ice. And the Warriors too. There you go. Not as bad as my Warriors. So
What about
Warriors
those
are
Brooklyn
bad.
Nets?
The Celtics.
What about those
How are the
Brooklyn
Nets
Nets?
doing? Are they peaking
They're
now?
killing it, man. Ever since they got rid of trashy Nash, and they brought in a guy who could coach and actually engage the players. Yeah, man, we're killing. I think what are we 18-7 in our last 25?
I'm gonna pull
Brooklyn.
up the NBA standings real
Yeah.
quick, but it just goes to show you how streaky these teams can be.
Hey,
Now,
Bleezy, somebody
one
here
week-
wants the Celtics to suck. That's me.
Yeah, that's Jay. That's one person that wants the Celtics to suck. But yeah, it sounds like historic is another adjective being added to Durant from the mid-range. He's incredibly effective
Sick.
in the mid-range.
Sick.
And the Nets recently scored 91 points
First
in
half.
the first half versus the Warriors. That
Yeah,
is
man.
out of control.
Yeah, man.
That's a franchise record. So the Nets look great. So Jay's definitely thinking the Nets are just going to go all the way. They're sitting friendly at the 4 spot right now. So
Imagine that.
week to week, one day you're in the dumpster, the next day you're not. But last 10, Celtics 4-6, Nets 9-1. Look at that.
Look at
7-game winning streak for the Nets. The Sixers, another team that everyone was sort of stomping on their grave for a while. They are now have won 6 of their last games in a row, and they're 7-3. And even the Knicks, the good old Knicks, are 8-2. So these fortunes are changing quite quickly, and the Pelicans too. They're still here, but
Love the NBA. Gotta love it.
yeah, it makes the season very interesting, I must say. I always like keeping an eye on the Lakers. They're in a lot of trouble now that Anthony Davis is
Terrible.
fractured again.
Again.
Some part of his body is fractured.
Yep.
And the Warriors, head scratchers. I don't know. Something tells me they're going to turn it on at the end of the year, though.
Yeah, they'll make the playoffs. I'm pretty certain of it. But yeah, man, lots of storylines. I think it's always fun around Christmas time, right? Like all these the big games and the hype of the season and all-star voting. This is a great time to be a basketball fan. I'm super psyched.
Yeah. Well, Jay, I think that about does it. I don't know what Poker Pro Eric is talking about here. Steve said on a cost basis, they aren't though. I don't even what are you talking about right now? They cost about N1 times 4 equals $4 on average. Either way, we'll all be able to buy if they fix it.
I think that's a great point to end the show on. To be honest,
that sounds like a robot, like an AI robot that's broken.
That's a robot named Steve.
But Steve says at some point the standings don't lie. I know, Steve, but we're not even at the halfway point yet. I don't know.
Steve thinks his team is not going to make the playoffs. Is that what we're saying?
I don't know. I don't watch enough Warriors
It's
to really have a
possible.
strong opinion. I mean, also
It's
Steph
possible.
Curry's injured. I mean, and he's out for like a month, I think, or 6 weeks. And by the way, Poker Pro, the drop has ended. Were you not watching when I showed their tweet? It's going to start
broke.
again next week.
It broke. They'll fix it. I'm not concerned.
Yeah. So that's all we got. But I appreciate having Steve here today, though. I hope
Steve's
we
always
didn't,
here. Steve is always here. I don't know if you know that. He's always in our
Yeah.
in the chat. Yeah.
Steve's got thick skin. I love Steve.
I love
Steve's not
Steve, too.
afraid of hanging out and hearing people curse.
Dude, my only beef with Steve is that we see a lot less of him than when he was on the community side. He used to be, no disrespect, my favorite content creator around NBA Top Shot. I thought his videos were phenomenal. He did a great job of explaining kind of complex topics. They brought him in-house and he's disappeared. That's
why they
sucks.
brought him in, though, to explain complex topics. So he still
I guess
does
so.
explain complex topics sometimes in the same way that he used to.
Need more stuff.
But he's also spread his wings a little bit to other stuff. I know he works in the community. He works with the content creators, like I alluded to.
Yeah.
But I have to give you one clip for saying that that's your favorite
Let's do it.
content creator. go. We hate you.
Awesome.
So anyway, yeah. So Steve does think the Warriors will make it in, but they'll be beat. I mean, I think it all just like the Lakers. It all depends on Davis. The Warriors, it all depends on Curry. If he's not 100%, then it won't happen. Because I
Is
do
Steph
think
actually out for a month? Is that what you said? I didn't hear that.
wasn't he? Didn't he like rip his bicep or something? Like he messed himself up.
I mean, if he's out for a month, then they're not making the playoffs.
Let me see. Steph
Period.
Curry injury. Let's see how long he's out for. So 2 days ago, he's nowhere near close to picking
It'll
up
be
a
a few
basketball.
weeks, he said.
Yeah, so there you go. A few
Yeah,
weeks.
So that's they don't have much time to make. So yeah, could be. Anyway, listen, Tandy, I'm going to a menorah lighting event tonight, so I got to bounce.
All right.
Pleasure as always. I hope we weren't too negative. We just try to keep it real. We don't hate on anything. We just try to tell it like we see it. We're, as always, rooting for the success of this platform and the product and the people within it. And we have a lot of respect for a lot of the people who work there. And, we've got mad love for the community. And we're always going to speak the truth to power. That's just what we do. But as soon as good things are happening, we're going to talk about good things. So give us some good shit to talk about. And we're going to talk a lot about it. It's really that simple.
I love it. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, that's why we put all this hard work into cursing our commenters out for an hour and a half every week, because we want to curse out wonderful things too.
No doubt.
So we'll give a little community drop. We love you guys. Thank you for being here, and that'll be it. So let's do that.
We love the community.
That's it.
And with that, and for Jay, go ahead, go light that menorah, and we'll see you all sometime soon. Take care.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas to all the Christians out there. Have a very safe, healthy, happy holiday, and we'll see you guys soon.
Yeah, don't drive drunk. Take it easy, everybody.
Static Selector.